So go vertical.
Oh, yeah. Vertical. Come on over this way so I'm not backlit. Marquett, Devon, Burton, the saint and the sinner. Giving you lessons from a PM! Oh, we talking about them today, folks. I feel motivated. In fact, I feel inspired. I hope there are a good number of women on this call today, too, because...
We need to close the blinds. Like, you're shiny.
That's okay.
Okay.
I can't get my shine on?
Okay.
Oh, don't try to take my shine away. No, don't do that. Yeah, we talking about these females today. We're not talking about women. We're talking about immature, underdeveloped females. You dig? There is a difference. Number one, you read the title. It said, are modern women, but it really should say, are modern females lazy complainers? But let's really start from the beginning, considering the terminology. Modern. A lot of them like to call themselves modern women. Oh, that's fascinating. Well, why do they call themselves modern women? Because they have to differentiate themselves from women of the past. Because women of the past were more submissive, more respectful, more chaste. They knew how to follow a boss. These women today are out of control. So they use the euphemism modern. And what does this really mean? Modern is a mask. When they say modern, what they really mean is some of the following things. Let me check out my notes. Yeah, what they really mean when they say modern is disagreeable, meaning they always have an alternative perspective, an alternative opinion, which is one of the unfortunate things about people getting educated and thinking that makes them a mastermind. No, love, because you went to DeVry doesn't mean you're a genius, okay? So sit your ass down and chill out a little bit, you dig? So disagreeable means they always got something to say. You say let's go right, they say let's go left. That's a personality disorder, huh? Being disagreeable doesn't make you intelligent, it just makes you unpleasant. So that's number one trait of being a modern woman. Miseducated. And what I mean by miseducated, unfortunately, especially these women who get these liberal arts degrees, aka a fake degree. We're talking about social work. We're talking about psychology. We're talking about anything that has the word social. Social work, social justice, social anything like that. They get these fake degrees in these hyper-liberal universities, and they are taught all of these frameworks for thinking, which are all errant and made up and largely come from the LGBTQ gay mafia propaganda machine, and they apply these falsehoods to reality. And they think they're educated because they can use words you've never heard of. Why? Because half of the words have been created in the last 5 years. Literally, they're making up words. And they'll take existing words and change the definition. Like partner used to mean business partner, used to mean collaborator. Now it means gay lover, but even heterosexual people are using it. It's strange. So they're miseducated. Another thing. Oh, did you have?
Just back up a little bit.
Okay. Are there some super chats?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, let's keep it going. Another thing is they're deeply neurotic. They're neurotic. I don't know if it's in the diet or what it is, but they don't have control over their personality and their emotions. They lack emotional intelligence, which is why they're terrible listeners. They have no patience for things that they don't agree with, right? So anytime you disagree with them, you're a bad guy. They're going to try to hashtag me to you. They're going to try to cancel you. They're going to try to do all of the things to destroy you simply because you have an alternative opinion. The modern woman is exceptionally unruly, and we have to blame males, because if males were being men, we wouldn't have let them get to this level. That's why I got to talk about it. I hope you're all taking notes. This is serious stuff. You dig? Oh, yes. And another thing about these modern women, they're perverts. I can't forget that part. They're perverts. They got all kind of hardware, you dig? And I'm not talking about power drills. Well, actually, they damn near are like power drills. All the voltage they have in these freaking masturbatory devices, some of them plug into the wall. It's crazy. And these chicks are filthy. They put the dildos in their dishwasher to clean them. It's just outrageous what they do nowadays, but they're perverts. Why do I say that? Because in the absence of a man, they have to use technology to please their physical needs, which are biologically hardwired. And because they have no sense of morals and decency, they use these enormous power tools. Some of these vibrators look like police batons. It's crazy. And they use these and they basically destroy their bodies, destroy their sensitivity. Yeah, they're perverts, okay? So we've now clearly described the modern woman. She's in disrepair. She needs help, but low-key, she is broken. I'd probably rather not touch one, not get involved with it. Were there any super chats we need to address?
Cream Glows sent a super chat. He said, "Peace, Saint. Much love from NYC."
Peace to the Saint. He's in NYC. That's one of the epicenters of the modern woman. They're all over the place. You got them in NYC. You got them in Los Angeles. A lot of these big cities have these modern women who are mentally unwell. That's why they're lonely. Or they found some little feminist beta male to walk behind them like a little doggy. Now, they're also non-submissive, which I don't know if it comes from trauma in childhood. I don't know what it comes from, but they don't know how to follow a goddamn direction. I imagine when they were in the 3rd grade and people were playing Simon Says, the first thing they said is, why does it have to be Simon? Why can't it be Simone? Why can't it be Jenny Says? Bitch, because it's called Simon Says. They dumbasses probably was failing the shit out of that game. Anyways, so I think we fully described the modern woman so that you understand the title of the video, which is, are modern women lazy complainers? Now let's talk about lazy. And shout out to Kareem, I truly appreciate the support. Saint, thank you for starting it off. Now, why do I say they're lazy? Well, this is paradoxical because somehow they've claimed that they're strong. They've claimed that they're independent. But you're so strong that you can't manage having a job and managing a family. But you're so strong, you have to complain about having to do the two. You're so strong that when you have to manage a family and have a job, you're like, I'm strong. It's hard out here for a strong single mother. Bitch, ain't nobody told you to be a single mother. You should have quit lying saying you was on the pill when you weren't on the birth control pill. You might have been on a pill, a Molly, but you weren't on BC. It's not my fault that you're a single mother. Hey, it's not my fault you opened your legs prematurely and the guy left you. That's not my fault. Now, this is why I say they're lazy. A modern woman is exceptionally lazy. Let me show you why. Do any of you guys know what the hell this is? This is called a dishwasher. It washes the dishes for you. Lazy bitch. Look, let me tell you about a real woman. When I was a youngin', my grandmother had a dishwasher, you dig? Never used it. I said, Grandma, why don't you ever use the dishwasher? See, she said, son, it doesn't clean the dishes very well. I've been cleaning dishes my whole life. It's no problem. She's right. It shouldn't be a problem, especially if you believe in cleanliness. Now, we use our dishwasher because maybe 10 years before my grandmother said that, maybe that time it wasn't great. But this thing works wonders. Now, you gotta be a lazy bitch to where you're talking about you don't have enough time to manage a household. You got a goddamn dishwasher washes the dishes for your lazy ass. Let me show you something else. How you know these hoes are lazy. God damn it. What's this? It's a microwave. This is a recent invention in human history. You don't even have to cook, you dumb bitch. You can just heat up things that are pre-prepared. But you can't manage a household and do 8 hours of work? 8 hours of work is a short work day. You lazy hoe. I don't work anything less than 14 hours. That's including on vacation half the time. On vacation I'm working. But you got a goddamn microwave where you can heat up stuff? But you complaining about cooking, which is a basic requirement of a female, and we know that because biologically the female is required and forced to provide for the kid from her very body. When the kid is in your stomach, it feeds from your own sustenance. When the kid is outside of your body, it feeds from your chest. And you don't know how to cook up a meal? You's a lazy bitch. Yeah, and you got a microwave and you still want to complain. I mean, goddamn. I got more inventions for you lazy bitches.
Real quick.
Okay.
We have a super chat from Anak Sari. He said, "Peace to the Saints, much love from Marseille."
Oh, Marseille. Oh, player.
And one more super chat just came in. It's from Aaron M. He said, "Peace to the Assassin, a little off topic, but since we are talking about laziness, if I'm 17 and work 60-hour weeks minimum, could I become massive through animation, construction, or personal training? All three of my passions."
Bridget, can we come back to that one?
Yep.
Okay, that's a reasonable question, but yeah, we can come back to that. Let me show these hoes another invention that they might not have known about. Oh, we can't even show you what's in there. We can't even do that. Well, look, this is called a goddamn freezer, bitch. This is a freezer, which means your dumb ass can cook all the meals you need, freeze them hoes, and then come over to the microwave. That's how lazy women are. What I'm telling you is that they're neurotic. They feel all of this anxiousness and their emotions cloud their mind from reason, and because they don't have reason and logic, they can't put together the mere fact that, okay, if I cook a meal, I don't even have to wash the dishes, I put them in the dishwasher. If I want to cook a meal and I don't have time, I can pull something out of the freezer and heat it up. Wow, I don't even have to cook the stuff that's in the freezer. I could have had someone else cook it. All I have to do is put it in the freezer, put it in the microwave, and then put it on a plate. He was a lazy bitch. Let me show you another invention. These lazy assholes, I hope they watching too. You can tell I'm fired up because I didn't have to suffer dealing with some lazy hoes. And I hate laziness, I really do. Bitch, this is called a washing machine. Bitch. This is called a washing machine, you lazy hoe. Now let me tell you something that my grandmother used to do. She used to hand wash. Me, I'm a G, so I still hand wash every single day. I hand wash. Yeah. And that takes time. I find it to be therapeutic personally, but listen here, you lazy hoes. This is called a goddamn washing machine, which means your dumb ass don't even have to wash the clothes. You just put them in there, press a button, walk away, come back, voila! Within 30 minutes, it's clean, you dumb hoe. And then you put it in the dryer, and it comes out hot and fresh. You don't even have to iron it if you take it out on time. Am I lying, Bridget?
You're not lying.
I'm not lying.
We have a couple super chats to get through.
Lazy bum hoes, go ahead.
Let's turn some lights on too.
I got you. I'm gonna turn these lights on.
Okay.
You can go super chats for me.
Okay, we're gonna get back to the one. We have Kit King send a super chat. He said, first time sending tuition, represent Brussels, holding up my responsibility to lead with purpose, keeping my vitality as my weapon, wealth in the mind.
That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Brussels and the Saints all the way over there in Belgium and Northern Europe. You dig? I truly appreciate that. And thank you. We love the first time. Welcome to the Sasson. You know, welcome to the community of men who stand up and make sure that they're counted. That's a beautiful thing. Back to these lazy.
We have more super chats if you don't mind.
Okay, hurry up because I want to tell you about
Okay.
these lazy hoes.
Kareem Glow sent another super chat. He said, haha, Marquett going in today.
These hoes lazy.
We have Mr. Highway sent a super chat. He said, the amount of girls I talk to that have seen every show on Netflix is staggering.
I didn't even get to that. Go ahead.
How you spend on your grind, but you spend 20 hours a week watching TV.
These dirtbag bitches. Go ahead.
Okay, Emmanuel Gola sent a super chat. He said, tuition, piece of the assassin, turning in on some valuable content. Thanks for the great work, Marquette. And we're caught up.
Now here's why I'm so mad about it, Saints. And as a man, you every now and then you have some women who you can bring them to the light. Some of them are lost. Leave them hoes wandering in the darkness blindly. Wear that ass out if you can and then kick them to the curb. But you cannot save those hoes, okay? The ones whom you can save and show them some light, this is why we are men. Because you can tell a bitch, here, look here, bitch. You work 8 hours. You get your lazy ass home. What do you have to do in a day when it takes you 20 minutes to get a meal prepared because you got the instrumentality of a freezer, of a microwave? It takes another 10 minutes to do the dishes because you don't have to do them. You just have to load them and unload them. You lazy bitch. You don't even have to wash the laundry. You just put it in there. Now, how is it that women of the past were able to hand wash the laundry with a washing board? They had to cook the food from scratch. They couldn't preserve the food in the freezer. They couldn't do microwavable cuisines in the microwave. But y'all bitches are complaining. That's what's mind-blowing to me. So as a man, you have to get logical and say, okay, look here, bitch. All right, look here. You work in 8 hours, okay. So that's cool. You get home around 5 p.m., bitch. What do you really have to do to maintain a home? The difference between a good wife and a bad wife is an hour a day. You come home, you tidy up for 30 minutes, you take another 30 minutes to get the food ready, and the food's already pre-prepped because you did that on Saturday when you're not working 8 hours a day, you lazy snot rag. And here's the thing about these hoes. As the saint said, how is it you dumb bitches can keep up on Orange is the New Black or whatever Power or whatever dumbass show y'all are watching? No disrespect, no disrespect.
I don't watch TV like that.
Say what you want to say.
Okay.
But, how y'all keep up on all these goddamn Netflix shows and your ass know everything that's occurring on the Instagram feed, but you telling me you don't have enough time? Oh, you got plenty of time, bitch. Matter of fact, you have too much time. And let me tell you why I'm so fired up. Look, this is why the pimping gotta reach back every now and then. So if you're watching this and you're a female and you're thinking, why is he calling me lazy? Consider this a mental digital pimp slap to your dumb ass, okay? Because you have more time than any human being has had in human history. Everything is convenient. You don't even have to go to the grocery store, you rat ass bitch. You can literally order Amazon delivery groceries. Your ass is so lazy, you don't even have to take your fat ass to McDonald's. You can have McDonald's come to your lazy fat ass. You can order Uber Eats. So how is it you don't have time? How is it people are struggling for time? There's a tremendous amount of time. There's also a tremendous amount of lazy. And that's why you guys need the pimping in you. And so when a chick tells you some bullshit, you can show her dumb ass what a freezer looks like, and you can mentally pimp slap her and let her know, hey, bitch, if you don't have time, let me show you how to manage it. You have to bring them back into reality, because what they're dealing with is not a lack of time. They're dealing with mental messiness. They can't manage their own emotions, so they feel. Women are feelers, not thinkers for the most part, right? These females are feelers. They feel like they don't have enough time, but you need to help them think and say, okay, well, all you have to do are these 3 things. Let's go ahead and allocate time to each of these things. And you guys got to hold that whip, because I'm going to be real with you. Hey, check this out. You don't have to lay your hands on anybody, but you do have to hold that whip and keep your pimp hand strong, which is to say that you cannot tolerate living in filth. You cannot tolerate a woman sitting on her ass for hours on end and thinking she's gonna sit there and scroll all day and talk to her homegirls and watch Netflix all day. Not in your household. And you're a sucker if you're letting that happen. And the only reason you're letting that happen is because you're not on your purpose. When you're on your purpose, you're like, hey, Bridget, we have to get these shirts sold and mailed off. Or hey, Bridget, we actually don't even have, these are mostly sold, but hey, we got
3
hats
left.
we gotta sell. We need you to get up and get to the post office. Why? Because she got time. Just like your old lady got time.
Okay, we have another super chat from Nelson Carrillo. He said, tuition, piece of the assassin. And then there is a lady on here who had a comment I figured you would want to hear.
Hear what she gotta say.
I need to find it.
You call her a lady, I'm gonna be the judge of that. Let me hear what she said.
Hold, please. I know her name was Susan. I'm looking for it. It was a while ago.
Take your time. I got time today, Susan.
Oh, she may have retracted the message.
I don't blame her. She probably said some bullshit while we talked.
It was something along the lines of she invited her man over for Christmas lunch. She told him she's cooking, but she's ordering it, and she's trying to get a baby out of him.
So what's her question?
It wasn't a question, it's a statement, but it's along the lines of,
So she invited him over for a holiday meal, and she's ordering the
and
meal
told him she's cooking it.
and told him she's cooking it.
Yep.
So she's lying. There's levels of ratchetness here. Now, Susan, hey, I just want to let you know here, love, I'm here to love, not to judge, but let me wear your ass out real quick, Susan. Number 1, you want a baby, but you can't get your ass up to cook a meal? You's a rat ass bitch, and this is why. Because when you bring a child into the world, a child needs nutritious meals. There's no better meal than the meal that's cooked with the core ingredient of love. You're having strangers cook food for you? No, I try to avoid that as much as possible, because you don't know what their standards are, what their cleanliness is, and after all, this is the era of a fucking pandemic, bitch. So there's just no need for that. Number 2, you're trying to get a baby out of the man, which means you at some level value that man, but you don't value him long enough to get your lazy ass up and cook up a meal? I mean, goddamn. And here's the worst part. You're lying to him? You're telling him that it's home cooked when your lazy ass and went to Boston Market? When your lazy ass and went to the local Punjabi spot and got you some Indian food, talking about your ass and made this curry from scratch? Wow, that's deceit. And that is something that is going to grow. You see, there's the germ, and it's going to spread into a disease that will eventually destroy you and him, unless he can sniff you out and bring some discipline to your life or get rid of you. Because the truth is, there is no need to lie to anyone. Huh? Especially about something so small. Now think about it. A wise man knows, love, if you're going to lie about something minute, of course when the stakes are high, oh, mentirosa, absolutely. I wish they could just start playing that reggaeton in the background. Mentirosa! Anyways, you get what the fuck I mean.
Okay, some more super chats.
Yeah.
Boo Boo Kitty said men invented all those domestic inventions.
Foul. Lovely.
Okay, one more super chat. Jay Maximus, he sent a super chat saying, salute Saints, yo Marquett, you're wildin', and the energy is unmatched. The game is sanctioned, and these negligent disty hoes ain't allowed. Stay blessed.
Praise the Lord.
And
Good
then
luck.
we just got one more super chat from Castro.
Castro.
No
Oh,
comments, just super chat.
I like that. That's a beautiful thing. Appreciate it, Castro. Now, here's another thing that I highly recommend for male and female children, especially females, is they all need to have logic classes. What you will notice often with females is that their logic just is not there. They'll explain how they came to a conclusion, and it just ain't gonna make sense half the time. Now, she's a good woman, good heart, you just gotta let it go. But we need to have some logic classes so that they can start making sense. Ladies, if you are not currently subscribed, you need to subscribe at thesasn.com. I have a video called How to Communicate During a Conflict. One of the major errors is women want to talk about everything at once. I mean, God damn it. If the issue is I didn't take out the trash, we don't need you bringing up that I pissed on the toilet seat yesterday, okay? That's not the topic at hand. Now, mind you, I never piss on the toilet seat. It's a filthy thing. I've never done that. I'm exceptionally clean. Can we attest to that?
We can attest.
No, we also have 2 bathrooms, so we don't even use the same bathroom. Anyways, but you get the point. So yeah, those logic classes are absolutely critical. Another thing I really want to address is that the modern woman is delusional. And because of all that education, she knows how to use those words to spin lies. You heard me? She takes the truth and makes it dizzy and sends it your way, and half of you guys eat it up. You'd be wise to listen to what a woman says, knowing that you must interpret it. You cannot take it word for word as direct meaning. They're damn near speaking in metaphor half the time. Double talk, you might say. And what I mean by this is, you got females who would tell you, and I kid you not, I'm probably gonna have to do an exclusive video on this, a dumb bitch will tell you, oh yeah, you know, women have to be submissive. It's just that it has to be the right man. Well, bitch, are you going to deal with a man that's not the right man? Are you suggesting to me that you will deal with men indiscriminately? You hoe. You don't need a condition. Either you are submissive or you are not submissive. By definition of submissive, you're saying you go all in. There's no condition to that. You've given it all or you haven't. Now here's the thing, you don't just give it all to any John Doe. But when you sign up to a guy's program, you need to follow the leader. But what these hoes will tell you some magical shit like this. Check this out. Ta-da! These hoes will go ahead and say, oh yeah, you need to be submissive, but he needs to be a good leader. You need to be submissive, but there's nothing wrong with being independent. Oh, you's a dumb bitch. Now let me tell you how I know. I know you're a dumb bitch because you cannot be independent while being in a relationship. That's retarded, you little fucking idiot. Look, let me tell you how I know these hoes are imbeciles. The word independent means apart from. So how are you going to be a strong, independent woman while being within a relationship? That's incompatible, meaning it doesn't make sense. There's no logic there. But in their sick, twisted minds, oh, it makes sense. What they're really doing is revealing their underlying drive to be the manager of their own affairs, which is sad because in most cases, they're not good at managing their own affairs. They're not even good at managing their own thoughts, which is why they're saying things that are incongruous, meaning in conflict.
Okay, we have a couple super chats. Mike Check Production sent a super chat. He said, just paying my tuition for priceless game. Modern female equals failed experiment.
Preach.
A couple just came through also. Only One Carter sent a super chat. He said, ladies, don't be lazy. Get in the gym, get feminine, get cooperative. You will get a good man. If you stay lazy, you will get lazy results.
That's right.
Jay Maximus sent another super chat. He said, what's your opinion of females faking high interest? I believe it's a major problem today, and it goes over the head of many males whilst in a relationship.
Well, that's a curious thing. I don't think they're faking high interest. In some cases, I think these women are so delusional that they think they're interested. But the problem with modern society is we live in a microwave society where everything is so quick. And because everything is so quick, they don't have time to build real bonds. And because they've been messed over by so many men, they don't actually form significant connections with any one male. That's why they jump from dick to dick with a pogo stick with Tinder as their instrumentality. And, you know, these figures such as, what's the bald head bitch, the black chick who damn near is white with the short hair, Amber Rose. This dumbass bitch and these slut walk type of women, Kim Kardashian, well, they make being a whore appear to be okay, and that's primarily because real men are not standing up and condemning these horrific activities. And when you have people like Kanye West, who many of you admire Kanye, I think he's a fucking dud. You dating a bitch who has a whole video sucking another nigga's dick? I'm out. That can't be my bitch. Might be my side bitch, but that ain't gonna be my main bitch. You crazy than a motherfucker if you think that. Now, when you got people like Kanye who are your hero and he's married to a bona fide, verified whore, then, well, of course we're gonna think it's okay to be a slut. And when women are being sluts, they're leaving pieces of their heart in many places, which means they're never going to be whole. They can never truly connect with any man. They can never give any man their heart because they don't have a heart. The pieces are scattered all around. So are they faking the interest? No, it might be sincere, but these women are so capricious and ditzy that it was sincere, but it was brief because they don't have the wholeness inside to connect to anyone further. They don't know about patience, the patience it takes to learn another human being, the patience it takes to build a bond, which is why they break bonds so quickly and break bonds so easily. And they're confused into thinking that as they get older, they can get plastic surgery to maintain their youth, which is impossible. So these Peter Pan assholes think they're going to be young forever, you dig? But they're going to find out the hard way. And then they're going to look up and they're going to be lonely. And the only thing they can get is a hard bone and some chewing gum on their way out of the door.
Okay, a couple super chats. Cadence sent a super chat. He said, excited for this conference. Shout out to the Saints.
Absolutely.
Mr. Highway sent another super chat. He said, you think laziness is the reason why modern women want a man who is already high value rather than the one who has potential but requires investment?
First off, fuck all this investment shit. Ain't nobody trying to invest. Everybody, man and woman, would rather to buy a house that's already legit than to buy a broke down ass house where you gotta renovate everything. So let's keep that real. But you're right, these hoes are lazy, so what they really want to do is they want to get their big lazy ass up into your nice car. They want to get their big lazy ass up into your nice home and sit their lazy ass on your couch. Huh? That's what they want to do. And then when it's time to cook, they want to say, well, don't we have money to hire a nanny? Or can't we get a chef? Or can't we order Uber Eats? We could, bitch. Doesn't mean we will, bitch. Now here's the thing. These hoes wonder why they end up getting cheated on with the maid or the nanny, because a man is hardwired to be connected to the bitch who is serving, who is providing. I wouldn't give a fuck if I had $80 billion. I don't want a nanny in my house. And if I do have a nanny in my house, that nanny's getting dick down. My wife's getting dick down and that nanny's getting dick down. Because that's a part of both of their compensation packages. Look, so bitch, if you want a nanny, you basically sharing your responsibilities and you're sharing your privileges and your compensation package. Bitch, go ahead and make a meme out of that one.
Okay, Fully Cooley sent a super chat. He said, crazy, this is the topic. I just meal prepped my woman's breakfast and dinner this morning. She's checking in 2 days out of the week to exercise. Keep it up, sir. Be blessed.
Wait, he said he meal prepped her?
Her breakfast and dinner.
Huh. That's curious. I don't know the context or the background. I'm going to just let that go and say I appreciate the super chat, Saint. Good looking out. Were there any other super chats we need to address?
We just had to get back to that other one when you have time.
Go ahead and roll back to that real quick.
Okay. It was from Aaron M. He said, peace to the assassin, a little off topic, but since we are talking about laziness, if I'm 17 and work 60-hour weeks minimum, could I become massive through animation, construction, or personal training, all three of my passions?
Let me tell you this, Saint. When you're a one-man band, it is a burden to have too much talent. To be capable in multiple areas is almost as bad as being capable in only one area or in no areas, because You have yourself being crippled by your competing interests and your competing priorities. In my case, I can pursue multiple businesses at once because I have other people working for me, other people getting things done. When we were in Colombia, for example, I hit up my assistant and said, hey, I need you to run here and do this and do this and do that. I'm in a whole nother country, but I'm still getting business done in the US of A. That's because I got a team, you dig? And even with responding to my patrons, sometimes I have to have another person read the messages and I'll just respond verbally and they type it up. It's a team effort, you see? But when you're a one-man band, you're 17 years old, pick your best bet and pour your money into that best bet. That's number one. Number two, anytime you can reduce your work hours could be a good thing because you need time to think and to explore your own genius. Poor people work a high number of hours for other people. Wealthy men work a high number of hours for themselves. So please remember that.
Okay, we have a super chat from Larry Scott. He just sent a super chat, no comments.
Okay, I appreciate that tuition. And anytime it's your first time ever super chatting, let me know because I really appreciate that. And you know, we love to celebrate men who are stepping up and doing things differently, doing things new. So that's big to me.
Susan Anthony's back. She has a question this time. She said, no man cannot answer my question. How can a woman be feminine, works out, look good, and work at the same time?
Well, come here. Come here, Susan. Come here, Susan. Now listen here, Susan. You said, how can a woman be feminine, work out? Well, number one, as long as your ass ain't in there bench pressing 2 plates in that motherfucker, as long as your ass ain't in there bench pressing 3 plates, throwing the weights on the ground, like as long as you ain't doing that shit, we gonna be all right. You know, get your ass in there, do your yoga, do your stretches, get a little bit of glute exercise, get some thigh work. But if you my girl, me personally, I prefer you to do all that stretching shit at home in the house. So you ain't got your ass up in the air and doggy style in public. It's disgusting. You heard me? If you was my bitch. That's just me though. But hey, do what you do. Because hey, fellas, you can't control them. You got to let them act on their own nature. So that's number one. Ain't nothing wrong with working out. But if your ass start getting ripped and bulky, if your shoulders look like Bruce Jenner's shoulders, well, that's problematic, love. So don't get too diesel. That's number one. But ain't nothing wrong with working out. You got to take care of yourself. Because I can promise you, you start letting that body go, you might lose your job, get replaced. That's number one. Number two, she says, and work, right?
Yeah.
Well, hell, I love a woman to work. You dig? Because I'm going to do another video. It's going to be called, are men really supposed to be the providers? The sole provider? Because I think that's a question that actually has not been dug into on a scientific, biological, evolutionary level. But I can tell you this, every man likes his woman to have a decent income. The reason work becomes a problem is if you're a boss at work and then you come home and think you're going to be the boss. No. Or if your work is infringing upon your ability to serve me because you can only have one master, me. Because here's the thing, your boss doesn't get in bed with you at night. Your boss wouldn't risk his life for your life if there's a rumble in the night. Your boss is not going to provide for you if there's a recession. You heard me? Your boss is someone who has a business relationship with you, but as soon as that company's not profitable and they got to give your ass a pink slip to go, your boss is going to do that. But your man is going to stick with you. So he is your one master. So as long as your work and work duties do not infringe upon your ability to cook me some chicken tagine, it doesn't infringe upon your ability to get your ass up in the morning and say, hey, daddy, here's a protein shake and I'm going to have your breakfast ready as soon as you're done praying. As long as you can still do that, go ahead, go to work, enjoy, baby. And as a matter of fact, when you get back, peel me off some greenbacks, you heard me? Because I love when they lay it in my mitt, huh? It's a beautiful thing to bring home money. Don't nobody hate that unless it's a sucker. Now, what's the other? Does she have a third thing? She said work out, work, and stay feminine?
Yeah.
Where's the masculine part? Working is not a masculine thing. There are various forms of work. Work just means you're adding value, being productive, and being compensated as a result. That's not masculine. That's evolved. That's mature. Working out is not masculine. We should all be in good shape.
The ladies on here, Boo Boo Kitty said a woman with a husband should not work, and then she said women serve better when she's not working. If you send her to work, she's going to get a work boyfriend.
Her name is Hello Kitty?
Boo Boo Kitty.
Boo Boo Kitty.
Boo Boo Kitty.
Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Like Dookie? Okay.
Sure.
Anyways, Boo Boo Kitty, I think there's various ways that people live. What I don't want to do, love, is I don't want to impose a stringent framework that is not going to work for different kinds of people. So for example, if a guy has a minimum wage income and he needs his woman to supplement that income, that's just what it is. You dig? I'm not going to say every man should try to live like I live. I think there's a lot of jobs where women can work remotely, where women can work pretty much exclusively with other women in certain industries, or when women can work, from home or in an Islamic environment, whatever the case is. Is it nice to have your woman where she doesn't have to go out in the workforce among men? I agree with you wholeheartedly, love. But what we're about within this ism is we identify the ideal, and then we identify also that which is practical and common, and then we identify that which you must avoid at all costs. So I don't want to pretend as though everyone has to be here where the man is earning 6 figures, his woman doesn't have to go out in the world, he can handle everything. This is uncommon. And so that's the problem with a lot of the religions. That's a problem with a lot of the old world thinking, is that it did not apply to the life as you live it today. But yes, I agree with you. Often it creates temptation when a woman is working among men. I agree with you there. A righteous woman is going to stay back as best she can, but it's much better to avoid temptation than to have to contend with temptation. That is true. Thank you, love.
Okay, Landreas sent a super chat, and he sent a message later. Let me find it. He said, I just finished the Black Box. I can relate to your story on many personal levels, especially dealing with racism at an all-white school. Can we look forward to the Black Box Part 2?
The Black Box Part 2 may come out. It'll certainly be a different slice of life. And I envisioned to have 3 parts of the Black Box when I wrote it. Part 1, just to see if it could serve people. And it seems as though it served many thousands of young people, male and female, older people, male and female. So I'm deeply thankful. Part 2 is about my come up, right? Basically getting my money out of the mud and transitioning into corporate success, entrepreneurial success around the world, and traveling and understanding how the global society works. So that's really what the second one would be about. The third one is the one where we can share all of the things I had to leave out of Black Box 1 and Black Box 2 because of legal reasons. So the third one will be on my deathbed, and it'll be my last testament in which we can just let it all out. Because there's some things that I can't share because it's not past the statute of limitation, or there is no statute of limitation, or would incriminate other people. But that's why I tell a lot of you cats, watch your mouth when you're talking to me, youngin', because I've done things you'd be scared to do. Real talk. That's why I demand my respect, you heard me? But yes, Black Box 2 may come out at some point. Truth is, writing a book takes a long time, especially when you pour your heart into it and write a quality work. If it does come out, it'll be many years down the line from now. But I will be coming out with another book before the Black Box 2 that will not be autobiographical.
Okay, Jay Maximus sent another super chat. He said, do you have any advice on how to get spiritually centered and to stay disciplined? I find myself derailing after being on point for months. It's a constant cycle, and it's the toughest thing I've gone through.
My piece of advice to you is this. When we're looking at religions, I've noticed that the religion itself, whether it's like the Bible or the Quran, those two things are not very persuasive. It's really the story of Jesus or the story of Muhammad. These figures, whether they existed or whether they're mythical, have powerful stories that influence. And so I would encourage you to look at these figures and similar figures to get inspired. I often am looking at docudramas or documentaries just to get inspired. And I'll even listen to the Quran because it's such a beautiful, melodious book. And the more you can surround yourself with positive and spiritual messaging, that will influence you. Also, the way you look matters. So, for example, I'll often wear my thobe because I know I'm less likely to misbehave, cut up, and say something crazy when I'm wearing a thobe. So it just gives me that feel. But at the end of the day, the man that you are comes from your practices, the things you do regularly. And yes, I am going to wipe down this table because I shouldn't be sitting on it, so I don't want to be a bad example to you. But that's where life comes from, is your regular practices. Do you meditate regularly? Do you confine yourself to silence regularly? Do you pray regularly? Those are the things that will define you and allow you to access the spiritual nature of the world. You know, everything comes from practice. You can't just sit and have your peace arrive quickly if you have not practiced. Well, how do I relax? How do I loosen up? How do I cool down? How do I get centered? How do I become one? That's a practice, just like anything else. Thank you for that meaningful question.
Okay, Susan Anthony is back. She said, I would love to date you, though. Are you single?
Single, no. And let me give you a really important piece of advice, Susan. So one thing I do want to invite you to do.
The lights are...
Oh, the lights are funny?
Yeah.
I do want to invite you to bang my line, and I would love to start up a program, Susan. I don't know if I want to call it Life School or what, which is a program where you get to interact with me on in a man-woman level, so that you can figure out how a man behaves on a regular basis, what a man's true expectations of you are. And when I say I'm not single, I want you to know any man that you really want at your age is not single. I don't care what he says. Here's why. Is it possible for me to be this educated, decent height, good looking, accomplished, and be single like no other woman wants me? It's not even possible. If I were you and I said I was single, I wouldn't believe it, because it sounds ludicrous. How could I possibly be single, right? But being single and being unavailable are two different things. So I invite you to holler at me, because I do want to talk to you. Because here's a big issue, Susan, and it's not necessarily with you. It's that a lot of women encounter it. And for some strange reason, I get a lot of single mothers in my DMs. Single moms, if you would please stop DMing me. Like, please, on a serious note. Because you're not serious people. And what I mean is this. A single mother will try to get involved with you and then tell you, hey, you need to, take care of my kid, and you need to respect my kid and accept my kid and respect me and all this stuff, when they don't understand the order of things. When you're dealing with a man, he needs to love you before he can love another man's kid, right? His love for you is going to trickle down to that kid. But you can't show up out of nowhere and saying, hey, I expect all these things of you, new guy, that his own father didn't give the kid and didn't give me. So that's an important thing, like that reality. And for women to be able to live in a healthy way with a real man, which is like seeing Bigfoot or seeing a shooting star, for them to do that, they need practice. So I invite you, as I've invited many women, to come see what it's like dealing with a boss. Because when this camera cuts off, I'm pretty much the same man. What I will say is the way I interact with men is not the way I interact with women. A lot of the saints, I'm often telling them, number one, watch the way you speak. Don't play with other men. Men are of war. Don't play with men. You might play with your girl, play with your kids, but don't play with me. You heard me? So I'm mostly talking serious when I'm on here, but I might cut off the camera. I'll crack some jokes with my female, you heard me? But I still am the same person. But for you to understand that, you need to interact interpersonally, and I highly recommend you come get this wife school. So holla at the big homie. Somebody drop my IG for her. It's Marquett Devon, MarquettDavon. And I want to discourage you, Susan, and every other bitch who's not serious. Now, if you're a stand-up woman, if you're a lady, holla at your
People
boy.
did just point out she has a boyfriend that she just mentioned
Oh,
earlier.
that's all good, baby. Come through anyways, because he obviously slacking on his Mackin, so I'm going to get it right. And I'm going to do him a favor, send you back all tuned up. You heard me. What's next?
There's no more super chats. Someone did ask how to help their brother deal with depression.
A brother, as in like their actual brother, or a friend?
It says brother. I don't know. I'm assuming
Okay.
an actual brother.
Let me just say this. Was that a super chat or just?
It wasn't.
Okay,
Just
good. So let me be brief then. When you don't have your own affairs together, everything else does not matter. I can't emphasize that enough. So many people jump in my DMs like, oh, I need to help my family. I need to help my sister. I got to help so-and-so. Or fuck them. How about you help yourself first? That's why I recommend you read my book if you haven't read my book. I tried my best to help other people from age 0 to 25. And when I suffered at age 25, when I didn't have a job, when I needed help, no one I had previously helped could help me because they couldn't help themselves. When you're 0 to 25, you need to focus on you. Then maybe when you're 25 and older and you're established, then you can help other people because you have wisdom, you have experience, you have capital, you have knowledge. But until then, focus on yourself. The biggest issue you guys have, male and females, you don't mind your own fucking business. I'm a master of minding my own business. One, because I grew up in crime. My mama was a criminal, my daddy was a criminal, my whole damn family were criminals. And one thing people in the underworld understand is mind your own fucking business. That'll keep you alive. And it's important because when you're minding your own affairs, your affairs are in order. When you're minding the affairs of others, your affairs are not in order. I just made an exclusive video at www.thesassin.com. And in that exclusive video, the video is called Watch Your Mouth. Watch what you say. And if you're watching what you say, that means you're controlling your thinking. Control that thinking. Be linear. Stay goals focused, Saint.
Okay, we have a super chat from Jason Lawrence. No comment, just send a super chat.
Let me show these lazy hoes something. This is a dishwasher. This is how it works. I just drank out of this cup. You lazy hoes. Let me show you how this works. You just open this hoe up, and then you just put something in there. These aren't clean, right?
No, I just emptied it.
You close it. That's it. How long was that?
3 seconds.
3 seconds, you lazy hoes. And that's why it disgusts me because you guys are at home going 50-50 with these hoes. Hoes are about, hey, honey, how about I cook and you do the dishes? Or how about your ass cook and your ass do the dishes? And I'm gonna sit up here like a boss and eat this fucking food like a fat king. How about that? Because it takes your ass 3 seconds to put that goddamn dish away. So I'm not going half-seas with you. If a motherfucker bust in here and it's time to defend this household, are you gonna go half-seas with me? You gonna fight that nigga the first 3 rounds and then tap me in and I'm gonna fight him the second 3 rounds? You dumb bitch. You stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in my lane. A lot of you guys are letting a woman put a skirt on you and it's disgusting. And they have the nerve to put a skirt on you and then go talk to me about how you're a bitch ass nigga. Oh, he doesn't stand up, he doesn't lead. Well, bitch, you the one trying to get him to go half-seas. But it's your fault as a man for agreeing to go half-seas. Have some decency.
KJ Maximus sent another super chat, no comment.
Shout out to the Saint. He busting off that war. He's shooting them shots.
He is. Emilio, the Armored One, sent a super chat. He said, quote, I'm a fat king. I'm snatching food off your plates, you dig? MDB. And then he said, may we take away from our fruity pebble eating enemies everything and give them nothing.
That absolutely. Come on around this way, Bridge. And I love what he's saying because you have so many clowns who are scared of competition. The only people who are scared of competition are losers. Winners love competition. You know why? Because it gives you an opportunity to show that you're the top dog. And hey, I love to leave my enemies laid out with their dick in the dirt. I love it. And in fact, there are a couple stories in the black box where you saw me get to, chin check some suckers who deserved it. And there's a couple stories that are not in the black box that I can't put in the black box, you heard me? Because I get it done. But here's the thing, we're not all the same. Real winners love competition. Even if you don't win in the competition, you love competing. You love just going hard. And here's another point to consider. All of these people who are always talking about peace and, oh, we're crabs in the bucket, you can't attack that person. Well, if we disagree, I should pretend we agree because we look the same? No, I'm not going to sit back and be quiet. We're not off some slave shit. And if we were off some slave shit, I'd be the master. If we were off some slave shit, you'd be the slave. I'm not going to sit back and be quiet. So I encourage you, men, to stand tall on your feet. One of the lessons you can learn from Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, is he didn't show up like a bitch. He showed up with his dick all on the table. And let me give you a comparison so you understand what happens when you walk around with your penis tucked into your butt crack. You guys remember this dude named Mitt Romney, whom I've had the pleasure of talking to personally. And I would also like to point out I've had the pleasure of talking to several presidential candidates personally. You can even look on my IG and see me talking to presidential candidates, more than one, mayors, governors. You can hear them saying my name, telling stories about me. That's the difference between me and your favorite YouTuber. Anyways, check this out. I was talking to Mitt Romney in the airport. So we're sitting there, Secret Service is around pretending that they're not Secret Service, pretending that they're civilians. And I was like, hey, Mitt, I noticed that during your whole campaign, you've been ashamed to be a rich white guy. And you're a rich white guy. First off, last time I checked, this is the land of opportunity. Everybody's trying to get rich. They ain't trying to get white, but they trying to get rich, that's for damn sure. So why would you be ashamed of being a rich white guy in a land that has been ruled by rich white guys forever? And then he started talking all this political shit to me. All this PC shit. That's why he lost. Because he's weak. And no one wants a weak king. Everybody wants a king who is noble, who is magnanimous, but when it's time to go to war, he gonna fuck shit up. That's why Trump won.
Okay.
But you're probably sitting there like, why did he lose? Well, he lost because he was hated. I did a book review, exclusive on thesasn.com, thesassin.com. It was on a book called The Prince by Machiavelli. It teaches you how to rule. One of the things that I point out in that book is it says you should never be hated. Trump was hated. You cannot overcome pure hatred.
We have some super chats to get through. John Wheeler sent a super.
Hold on,
Oh,
Bridget. What'd you say? What'd you say?
we have some super chats that people sent.
Yeah, not to get through. Get through, that sounds like drudgery. This is a pleasure because we're honoring serious men
Okay.
who are serious about their questions.
John Wheeler sent a super chat.
Okay.
No comment.
Oh, he just sent through the paper just to say what to do? I
Yep.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Carlos Acosta sent a super chat. He said, I always learn something new when I come here, with a fire emoji.
I appreciate that, Carlos.
Count Rios sent a super chat. He said, binge watching videos on Patreon. Thank you, peace.
Absolutely. And shout out to the people who stay loyal and stick with me. I think a lot of people who come into my Patreon, it's not a lot. There's maybe like 4% of people who come, they stay the month, they don't renew the membership. And that's because they came for the wrong reasons. They came thinking I'm a dating coach. I'm not a dating coach. I'm an international businessman with a lot of game on a lot of things. And my goal is not to teach you how to get a woman. My goal is to teach you how to get everything. You walk into the buffet, take everything off the table. That's what I'm here for. And guess what? When you're a man who can walk into the buffet, take everything off the table, like a motherfucking supervillain, oh, them hoes gonna want to know what it do. Them hoes gonna be pulling up, I promise you of that.
Okay, Kareem Glow sent a super chat. He said, the black box coming in this Monday.
Church. Shout out, Cream.
Boo Boo Kitty sent a super chat. She said, the greatest men in history had concubines.
Ooh-wee, girl, you better holler at your boy and quit playing with it, shorty. If I don't know your real name already, you already behind. Catch up.
Swiffer Wetjet sent a super chat. He said, paying tuition, Black Box is a great read. Peace to the assassin.
Appreciate it, Swiffer Wetjet. Loyal Saints pulling up.
Joshua James sent a super chat. He said, hey, Marquett, first super chat. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you and the Saints. God bless and Merry Christmas. Most valuable lesson of 2020. That's his question to you.
What's my most valuable lesson?
I guess.
Well, first off, let me acknowledge that he's doing something new. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is as a man to change your strategy. You see, if you're not getting what you want out of life, you have to do new things. If you want to think more creative thoughts, you have to do new things, be in different environments. And as you grow as a man, you're going to have different practices, different tastes, different behaviors. So major shout out to the Saints who have super chatted for the first time. And I can tell you there's a true pleasure to giving that you'll come to understand as you become a man with more abundance. Like me, we have, is it three Saints already, or do we fill up the 4?
For what?
I think, oh yeah. So we have 4 teenagers who I'm covering their hotel. For me, that's a pleasure to be a part of their life, to do something new, to give them something that maybe they've never had before. So shout out to you for getting to experience that. As a man, they might call us providers. Whether we're meant to be the sole provider or not, to provide is a privilege and an honor. So shout out. Now, my biggest lesson of 2020 is notice what I'm doing right now. It's called thinking. Motherfuckers always just answering questions without thinking, aren't they, Bridget?
Yep.
They just start talking too much. This is called pondering. Observe it. My biggest lesson of 2020 is that The things that have worked for you in the past might not necessarily work for you in the future. That's the lesson. And that's a big lesson. And what I mean by that is me as a successful CEO in the technology space, which has for the last 20 years been the most, last 30 years been the most high growth space of any other industry. It's been prized, it's had the highest profit margins. It's really taken care of me. It's taken me around the world. It's honored me. But things changed in 2020 for a lot of businessmen who I know, my own investors. And they've seen the world shaken up. So the things that have worked all the way up till now, you got to change course and do something different to be successful in the future. Some people started complaining. Some people refused to change. Me, I said, okay, there's a new game. Let me figure out how to be the MVP in this one. And the nature of life has changed. And if you can make sure that your change is an improvement, then you will be in a good situation. And also making sure that you're spiritually centered is going to allow you to endure change gladly. So that's been my biggest lesson of 2020.
Okay, Matthew Strudwick sent a super chat. He said Marquett came with the thunder tonight. Respect.
Appreciate that.
I am blessed. Sent a super chat. He said thanks for the wisdom.
I am blessed. Shout out, Saint. I love that. I love that name, by the way, that screen name, because we are all blessed, whether we know it or not. It's the great ones among us who acknowledge it and who really live in that spirit on a regular basis. I know a president of a university, black man, Muslim man, and every time I say, how are you? He says, too blessed to be stressed. And he means it. He absolutely means it. And that's great. I love it.
Okay, Jay Lyons sent a super chat. He said, blessings, bro. Have you ever used cryotherapy? If so, what are your thoughts on it?
Did he say cryotherapy?
Do you know what that is?
Hell nah, I don't know.
You get in like a cold, it's kind of like the sauna I go to, but you like get in a cold thing.
I mentioned this. Is this alternating cold and hot, or just using the
I
cold?
think cryo is just the cold.
I see. No, I've never used cryotherapy, Saints. If you're on the Sasson.com, feel free to shoot me a link and tell me about it. I've never used it. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Engineered Appliance Repair sent a super chat. He said, shout out to dishwashers. They bring in good revenue for the business.
Yes, sir. Hey, and if you need a dishwasher, Saints, you know where to go. And I really want to let you all know the Sasson, we're serious about our community. And anytime you need to buy something, always check with the Saints first and see if someone is selling that product. For example, I had a consultation this week with a Saint who's producing some really cool merchandise. And I'm not going to tell you what it is now, but when he finishes it, I'm going to share it with you because you're going to enjoy it. And I'm going to make sure that I get some of his merchandise as well, because I want to show love to those who show love to me. And community is about mutual support. You can buy a hat anywhere. When you buy my hat, you honor one who honors you. And so when this Saint comes out with his merchandise, I'll surely show it to you. When Gaius produces his soap, I will show it to you. You come to Las Vegas, you want to go to a magic show, go to a Jabrizi show. We need to go where we're appreciated, where we're respected, Saints. So if your ass need a dishwasher, Appliance Repair, he got you covered.
Okay, Marcus Charles sent a super chat. He said, what's your advice for enjoying the process of self-improvement? I've noticed it's not always obvious that you're making progress.
You know what? Number one, it'll be obvious when you're tracking data. Come in a little closer, Bridget. I don't like you getting the top of my head. You got a cat staring at the top of my head. If you're tracking data, it will be obvious. As a businessman, data is everything. So for example, when I get off of this live session, I'm always curious to know how many peak concurrents do we have watching the live stream. I'm always interested to know the number of individuals who super chatted. Why? Because I want to know if people were filling the message. I have to look at the data and see if there's progress. Every month, I know how many people I had on Patreon. I know how many people quit Patreon. And I always look at that as, how did I perform? Now in December, it's a strange month because people are emotional and irrational. So I expect revenue to decline in December from consumer products such as mine, because you can't give Patreon as a Christmas gift. So people are reallocating their money to other things they think are valuable, which are trinkets, which are not valuable. So of course I expect to lose revenue in December. Now if I sold like meaningless objects, like physical objects, I'd expect revenue to grow in December. I pay attention to the data. I expect that you pay attention to data. When you're setting a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, you track every day on if you're making progress. If you said that you're going to be able to run a 6-minute mile, get your ass on that treadmill today. And if you run it in 5 minutes, 12 seconds today, fantastic. Tomorrow you run it in 5 minutes, 9 seconds, you made what's called progress. You shaved off 3 seconds. That's because you're taking data. That's the only way to live as a man. That puts you on top because you're careful. The geniuses are not the people who went to great universities. The geniuses are not the people who are high IQ. It's not how intelligent you are, it's how often you are intelligent. That's my own quote. Make sure you throw them quotes on before you say that like you made it up. Holla at your boy.
Okay, we have some super chats. Mike Check Productions sent a super chat. He said, straight game, no chaser, without lights, music, and a twirling thing.
That's right. We're just telling you what it is. And I love serious men and serious women. And a lot of people try to reach out to me and I don't deal with them because I can tell they're not serious. They don't really want success. They don't really want to help people. They don't really want to help themselves. Me, I'm dead ass about most of the things that I'm doing. Like, I don't tell you that I work out. You guys know for sure that I work out because most times when I'm talking, I'm either working out or I'm about to go work out, or I just finished working out. So you know, like, man, homie is getting it in. So it's not like you're gonna show up to Las Vegas for the conference, say the conference is all over, and you're like, hey, Marquett, you wanna go on a run? And I'm like, oh, nah, man, I'm out of shape. Nah, I'm gonna show up. You say, hey, Marquett, you wanna go on a run? I'm like, do you wanna go on a run? I'm gonna strap on my shoes and try to outrun your bitch ass. Yeah, and I'm gonna say, no, let's go on a little 8 mile. We gonna run 8, and then when I see your ass getting tired, I'm gonna say, let's run 3 more. Why? Because I'm a fucking competitive person. I want to push you to the limit, and I want to push myself to the limit, because if you like it, I love it. So I'm serious about everything I do. Even today, I haven't ran 8 miles in a long time. But if you showed up talking about let's run 8 miles, I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to ask the Lord to keep me going, because I'm a damn sure try to outrun your ass. Believe that.
Okay, Moneymakers, he sent a super chat, and I believe he sent a follow-up question with another super chat, so I'm gonna get through both of them for you before you answer, please. Hey, Marquett, I got a question. My mom was complaining about why I didn't buy her a gift. To her, I wasn't appreciating her, and I was greedy. I told her that I was investing in myself. It was kind of disappointing. So that's the first super chat he sent. The second one he followed up with was, do you think when it comes to parents, it is an expectation?
That pissed me off so much, I just walked in a whole goddamn circle. On accident. That's annoying. Let me tell you this, and I mean every word of this. Love your parents. Love them. Appreciate them for who they are. And you may not have read the black box. I literally have a black box. We call the black box the end of each chapter. It's when I summarize the moral of the story. And at the end of one of the chapters, I say, we do not choose our parents, for we must accept them for who they are and love them irrespective or regardless of their faults. Certainly, your mother is a woman just like any other woman. Because she's your mother doesn't mean that she's guaranteed to be wise, she's guaranteed to be intelligent, she's guaranteed to be caring or thoughtful. Christmas is a pagan holiday. If you ask your mother the origins of Christmas, she doesn't even know. If you ask your mother, does she think that you love her? She'd have to say, yeah, you do love her. So then why is it that I give you a material object? Here, Mom. I love you more now? No, of course not. This means nothing. And the funny thing about the female psychology is they don't realize if you pin your happiness or your emotions or your affection on material objects, when you come to a wealthy man, I can just buy you? I can just buy you? That's to a wealthy man, peeling off some money is easy to do. So that's when the woman cheapens herself, whether it's your mother, your girlfriend, anyone. They've cheapened themselves because they're mesmerized by shiny things, by objects, by material. See, with a middle-class guy, he has to sacrifice to get you that gift. You go to a wealthy man, he's like, oh, you want this? Yeah, here, no problem. And he can do that for you and 5 other chicks because the money has no value to him. Which is to say, when he gives you a gift, he's not even giving anything of value. To get something of value from a man is to get his time, energy, emotions. That's the messed up psychology of the society we live in. What I'm telling to you is that you are living in a different way than the mainstream society. And because of you being different, you will encounter challenge. People who don't understand you, people who hate you, people who complain about you. Those people may be strangers or they may be your own mother. And you just have to forgive them, knowing at some level they may be ignorant. Or they may not understand you. Because here's the thing. I don't celebrate Christmas. I just had to go today and receive gifts from people who do celebrate Christmas, people who are loved ones, and I felt a little anxious because I didn't give them a gift, but I said I cannot break my values, who I am as a man, just to make everyone else feel comfortable so I can fit in. Because I didn't come on this earth to fit in or to stand next to these guys and be one of the mates. I'm not one of the mates. I'm the big homie. And so I got to stand alone sometimes. You will have to stand alone. And if you want to be successful, you will have to stand alone at the mountaintop because there's not many people there. So get used to people misunderstanding, hating, and questioning your ways and your thinking. People follow all kinds of foolishness. Christmas. Fat white dude with a beard jumps down your chimney and leaves presents. Ludicrous.
Reindeers too.
And he comes through the black chimney and comes out clean. I mean, the whole story is ludicrous. So, and I never had a chimney when I was a kid, right? Because we lived on the West Coast. There are no chimneys. And we lived in apartments because we were poor. There are no chimneys. So I was always wondering, Mom, how the fuck is Santa Claus getting in here? Santa Claus got a crowbar. He gonna break his way in this bitch. He gonna come through the window like, what's going on? I say that to say this. If someone is so immature that they think a material object shows you love them, you just have to forgive them and carry on with your path. Maybe one day they will learn about Marquettism and see the true light. But whether they are blind or they have vision, you just have to leave them where they are and keep going along your path. Because even though your mother may have expressed discontent today, it'll go away. Why? Women, whimsical. They feel one way one day, feel a different way the next day. They're of love though, so she'll always come back to loving you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, William Austin sent a super chat. The message was in Spanish. I tried to read it as quick as I could and memorize it, but it disappeared.
Okay.
Just so you know.
William Austin's message was in Spanish.
On Cash App, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I can't go back to it.
Okay, William Austin, truly appreciate the Cash App. Thank you, Saint. It means a lot. And if anyone wanted to send on Cash App, my cash tag, which is hashtag MARQUETT, no E at the end, it is in the description of this video.
Okay, Young DD315 sent a super chat. He said, "Peace to the saints. I've had Christians tell me I should be good to bad people. What would you say to rebuke?"
Hell nah. Look, I'm not saying be bad to bad people, but I can promise you that you will waste your capital giving your capital to people who don't care about you or people who would use your capital to do disservice to others. What sense does it make, and I've been guilty of this, what sense does it make to give a homeless person $30 and then they go down the block and use that $30 to get some Ready Rock? They use your money to buy some methamphetamine, and when they're high on methamphetamine, they go out and commit a fucking heinous crime or murder, and it does occur, trust me. So that would be foolish. The Christian ethic of be kind to everyone, my grandmother raised me on that. And again, this is why I recommend the Black Box for you. It is my testimony. It is my testament of how things occur in this modern era today and how you can live righteously today. Because I can tell you, the Bible doesn't talk about the internet. The Bible doesn't talk about these lying ass hoes. Well, actually, the Bible does talk about these lying ass hoes. But the Bible doesn't talk about a lot of things you have to deal with. And let me tell you this. In my book, I talk about situations of, well, you know, what happens when you give to those who don't give to you. That's why I was able to create a 3-sentence Bible, a 3-sentence Quran. Because most Muslims haven't read the Quran. Most Christians haven't read the Bible, although they act like they're expert. And the 3-sentence Bible is this. Be yourself. Be good to yourself. Be good to good people. Now think about that. If you're good to good people, you're giving them things that they deserve, which is goodness. If you're good to good people, you're likely being good to those who have been good to you. And guess what? It's called reciprocity. When you give to someone who gives to you, they're more likely to give you more. Why would you give to someone who gives you nothing? You're going to get nothing in return, which means it's a bad investment. Learn to think of the world through business terms, and you shall prosper a lot more. People will appreciate you a lot more as well, because they know they're not going to get a free ride from you. They have to earn. Hope that answers your question, Saint.
Okay, we have some more super chats that I'd like to address, but real quick, Abdullah Asaltan, I know he's sent super chats before. He said, when is the audiobook coming?
We are working on that daily. Bridget can attest, just yesterday I was recording chapters, and you'll have to let me know what you think. I'm thinking about, because so many people are hungrily awaiting the audiobook, and I never like to pretend as though tomorrow is promised. Some of the chapters I have to record while we're traveling, because as you know, I'm all over the world constantly, and so there's a little bit of background noise, and so I'm wondering, should I just like record the whole thing all the way through, put it out so people can purchase it, and give them a lifetime license so that I can re-record the loud chapters in a perfect audio with a good microphone, and then just give them the newer version. Let me know what you think. That's what's crossing my mind today, just so people can get it in their hands and get this knowledge.
Okay, Zach V. Ronnie is back with a super chat. He said, Peace Saints, followed up with hashtag Real Name Gang.
Yes, sir. Shout out to all the men standing up and making their name mean something in the world.
Okay, Jalik Udu sent a super chat. He said, first time super chatting. Thank you for all the amazing game you provide. What were your biggest challenges you had to overcome in your early 20s?
Well, shout out to the Saint, and it looks like we had at least 3 people super chatting.
3, possibly 4, yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Obviously, we appreciate the OGs who have been with us a long time. That means a lot.
We appreciate everyone.
Absolutely. Loyalty is huge to me. But the new guys, we just want to welcome you so warmly for standing tall. My biggest challenge in my early 20s was belief. Belief. Understanding what's possible. When you're in your early 20s, you have a lack of experience. If someone would have told me in my early 20s, Marquett, you will be in China with 8 Chinese people following behind you with cameras and recording everything you do and say, and it'll be on local Chinese television, I would have said, you bullshitting. If someone would have told me, Marquett, you are going to live in South Korea, not visit, you're going to live there, you're going to open an office there, and you're going to give speeches to Korean dignitaries and other national governments, and people are going to translate your words in real time. You're going to have to speak and stop so they can translate it into all these different languages so people can hear you, because what you're saying is that important. I would have said, nah, that doesn't make any sense. What could I possibly have to say that's worth translating into 23 languages simultaneously? So imagination was the big thing at age 20, because nowadays, I like thinking about things. Well, how do I make $40,000 a month? At age 20, you're thinking about how do you make $40,000 a year. So if I today met myself in my early 20s or late 20s or early 20s and said, hey, you should try to make $40,000 a month, I'd be like, what? Do you mean a year? So imagination is number one, knowing that so many things are possible if you will stay focused, work hard, and get good mentorship. So that was my biggest thing, knowing that I had to invest in myself at age 21. Talking to the men who have experience so that I can have imagination. That's why on IG, I try to show you what I see. I try to show you where I live and what I do, where we travel, so that you know it's real. People are really doing this. Not a lot of people, but enough for you to be able to become one of them.
Would you mind handing me the charger?
Oh, it's that time.
It's that time. Okay, Mr. Highway is back with another super chat. He said, I pigged out for Christmas. I feel guilty, but I have great physique. How can I remain disciplined without becoming restrictively cruel to myself?
You shouldn't be worried about being cruel to yourself, because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? If you don't look in the mirror and tell yourself, man, I made a mistake, I was a fat piece of shit, who's going to tell you? Because the truth is, we're in a soft world, man. If it ain't me, ain't nobody gonna tell you you fucked up. They gonna let you think it's all good. That's what they're gonna do. That's what I love about boxing, is because when you get in that ring and you mess up, every mistake hurts. So you know you messed up. When you don't use head movement and you get your ass punched in the mouth, oh, you know you messed up because there's blood in your mouth. So look, stop being too soft on yourself. You pigged the fuck out, you were behaving like an animal. I've done it too. You should taste Bridget's food. It's delicious. So yeah, it happens to me every once in a while. We're human beings, but don't ever think you're going too easy on yourself. You're not going too easy on yourself because unless you're like the champion of the world at something, you ain't going hard enough, period. So be hard on yourself and realize that every now and then we fall short of what we want to achieve.
Okay, Jay Maximus sent another super chat. He said, any tips on becoming a more eloquent speaker? I always spoke smooth enough and can articulate my words, but it doesn't resonate the way I want. Or is that different? I'm trying to charm and disarm them. You feel me?
I am convinced that we overvalue sweet words. We overvalue poetry. That's not what gets the job done. There's a billionaire by the name of Warren Buffett. If you don't know who that is, you should. You should probably Google the gentleman. He's not a moving speaker. There's another billionaire named Bill Gates. He's not a moving speaker. And when I think about it, most of the billionaires are not very moving speakers. And you can count the dollars or you can count your beautiful words. What really gets the job done are activities. We are in an era where people like to look good instead of be good. I can't emphasize enough the importance of actually being good. I will, however, admit that being eloquent or articulate is a result of your disciplines. I don't just happen to have a large vocabulary. I read books and I take my time reading them. I don't try to speed read them. I make sure that I understand the book, I discuss the book, and I read meaningful books. I don't read garbage. And those are things that help you with being articulate. Certainly there are things that are inherent to one's character and that will help you along. But if I had a son and I could really impress upon him one characteristic, it wouldn't be, I want you to speak well like your father. No, it would be, I want you to have focused thinking and hyper-focused actions, meaning deliver the goods. Don't talk the goods, deliver the goods. So I'd much rather you be like a mute mailman. You don't talk, you deliver.
Okay, I noticed there's lots of questions coming through right now. I had to filter to super chat only because we need to focus on those for people. So I just want people to be aware that we're on super chats. We have Jeremiah Roseborough sent a super chat. He said, salute bruh, soaking up the game like a sponge.
I appreciate that, and I can't wait to hear your stories of success. And I will read your book when one of you comes out and says, Marquett, I have landed at the top of the heap where I want to be. And when you write your book about how you did that, I will be one of your first customers. Because when you guys say you're soaking up this game, if you are true to your word and you really are soaking it up, you will see your actions paying dividends. You will be successful. I already know it because the things that I'm telling you are not things I think, these are things I have done. There are some charlatans on the internet who would tell you how to fake it till you make it. I'm saying skip the faking it. Let's just make it. You heard me? Let's just do what it takes. There are a lot of things in life you can't fake. I'm all about that part of life. Can you fake being a good boxer? I encourage you to try. Y'all saw what happened to Nate Robinson. That's the boy's name, right? Nate Robinson?
Yeah.
Boy, that boy got knocked out cold. And that's because he was faking it. You can't fake some things. So I would really encourage you guys, like the gentleman says, soak up this game like a sponge and put it to use.
Okay, J3Z313, he sent a super chat, nothing to say.
Okay, I appreciate it, Saint.
Metal Baby Slayer came back through with a Cash App.
Oh, truly appreciate that. And the Cash Apps are great because I hate the Google Corporation personally. That's a longer story, primarily because there's so much censorship. They really do not want you all to get certain messages. Even today, you saw my community tab, I posted a video where they showed a woman take the coronavirus vaccine, and the woman passed the fuck out right after she took it. And then they came on lying, talking about, oh, she passes out all the time. Don't worry about it. She just, passes out all the time. We know that's a lie because it would be dangerous to hire a nurse who passes out all the time. So we know you're lying. And it was for sure an issue with the vaccine and that not agreeing with her natural system. So Google is one such corporation that is trying to censor and trying to misguide and lead public perspective. So Cash Apps are appreciated because they don't go through the Google corporation.
Okay, Swiffer Wetjet came through with another Cash App. He said the real name is Kevin White, and he did hashtag real name gang, Zach, I hear ya.
That's right, Kevin White in the building, get in. And gentlemen, the reason we talk so much about names, because names are legacy, you understand? In the old days, a woman would get married to a man and they would call her Miss Marquett Von Burton. They would just say Miss and then say the man's full name, not just the last name. They say, oh, she is Miss Marquett Von Burton. And to her, that's an honor because you're a fucking boss. You hear me? She would love that because you're a boss and your name rings bells. Your name is known and respected. That's why names are important here. And also when you want familiarity, it's a different experience. When I see you on the streets, I'm like, and I know your name.
Okay, Moneymakers is back with another super chat. He said, thanks for the game, brother. It was kind of sad seeing her act that way. At least my little brother got her the gift. Can't wait for the conference.
Absolutely. It is sad to see people misbehave, man. But you know what? Now you can anticipate. And now that you can anticipate her likely behaviors, then, you should not have any true shock when it reoccurs. That's the great advantage of being a wise man, is that you know what is going to happen. And when you're a wise man with emotional intelligence, not only do you know what's going to happen, you can deal with it emotionally, inhale it and blow it out, and then carry on to the next thing with no problem.
Okay, Jabrizzi sent a super chat. He said, peace.
Peace to the saint, Jabri. What's going on? He over there in Chicago. That's a brave man.
Cold over there.
Heck yeah, I wouldn't even visit my own family in Chicago. I have to send them a postcard.
Okay, we have Mike Check Productions sent a super chat. He wrote facts with a bullseye emoji and said, people treat you how you treat yourself.
Right.
Believe and trust yourself and the world will follow you. What's your thoughts?
I agree. In fact, that's how a lot of charlatans have made it so big. If you treat yourself and esteem yourself well, people will assume that there's some substance behind it, like there's a reason that you're doing that. That's why you have people on the internet who are not businessmen. They've never managed employees. They've never run corporations. They are not esteemed in the real world, but they put on a suit and they look like a businessman. They carry themselves like a businessman, and so people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show him some respect. Well, that's because he looks like me, a person who's actually respectable. He's just putting on a charade. So yes, you're right. The way you esteem yourself is going to be a factor. But always remember, not only should you esteem yourself highly, but you should respect yourself enough to make sure that you deliver the goods. That you're not just saying it, you're actually doing it. And when you are not there, that you can be honest. That's why I had an exclusive video at www.thesasn.com. And I said, I want to encourage you to shut the fuck up, which is to say, hey, too much lip service, talking don't ever get the job done. That's why where I'm from, when a problem's about to pop off, we don't talk. We just start swinging, you heard me? We don't tongue wrestle. We just start throwing them knuckles, you heard me? And that's the nature of life. What does it come down to? A real man doesn't have to waste time with words because words rarely create outcomes. Generally, actions create outcomes. So that's where you guys really need to be acutely focused. So I do agree with the saint that the way you esteem yourself is going to impact how people see you. You also have to have something behind the veneer, behind the appearance.
Okay, Jonathan Irata sent a super chat.
Is that my phone you got?
That's your phone.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You go ahead and charge that joint up because I'm going to need it for the gym.
Okay.
So send in your super chats if you haven't because we're about to start winding this down.
We have some. Okay. You heard the super chat I just said, Jonathan.
Jonathan, truly appreciate that, Saint.
Okay. Fames Apollo sent a super chat. He said, Merry Christmas to Bridget Marquett. How do you work on multiple businesses at a time while staying efficient?
Team. You need a team. Whatever you can do to bring people into your influence and help them, get them to collaborate with you, whether it's as an employee or a volunteer, that is going to help you be successful. And the thing about passion is infectious. Like, if I was a high school kid or even a college kid, and I lived with my mother and father, I for damn sure would be like, hey mom, we got these Saint Sinner shirts. They're being sold at www.theassassin.com. And you need to make sure people know about this, mom. And hey, by the way, these ones sold. Would you mind running to the post office for me? I appreciate it. And that's all it needs to be. You don't need to compensate people for everything they do. And here's the key to life. When you serve people, they will serve you. When you take care of someone, they will take care of you if they're honorable people. And you should really only associate with honorable people. You heard me.
Okay, Jalik Udu sent his first super chat today and his second super chat.
Wow,
He just said, any suggestions on diversifying your imagination, perhaps book recommendations or habits for building your imagination? P.S. He put his Patreon name. It's VZNFRMTMRW.
Okay, I'd have to see that written out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate the support on Patreon. It really means a lot to me. And with regards to your question about imagination, books are fantastic for imagination, and they surely do light it up. There are not a ton of books that I think really give you the kind of stimulation that's going to be life-altering. Certainly, the autobiography of Malcolm X was one such book for me, because it was such a moving story. It just showed me that he kept trying so many different things. The Black Box, I hope, would be one such story for you. In addition, in terms of philosophy, there's a book called Message to the Black Man. I thought it was a really unusual book, and it stimulated my imagination because during a time in which you had segregation and black folks being treated as second-class citizens, you had a guy write a book called Message to the Black Man, and what he said was, he said, learn from the white man, for he is clever and has been very successful. I thought that was really wise, and it shows how elevated someone is, because during a time in which there was antagonism between the races, this man was mature enough to say, whether you guys hate me or not, I can still acknowledge through emotional intelligence that you've done something right, which is why when there's a master-slave dynamic, you're in the position of the master. What can I learn from the master mentality? So when you can find transformative books like that, you should always read it. One book people often recommend, which is Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. It's a terrible book. It's garbage. I tried to read it 2 times. It's very long. It's a terrible book. It's utter garbage. The only wise thing he says in that book is that he said, the written word will never transform the world. It will be the spoken word, because people do not read. And what that suggests is that you have to understand humankind, how they take in information, how they're impacted by information. That's what I took from that book. But the book on the whole didn't stimulate imagination. What stimulates imagination is meeting new people, having new experiences, traveling. And you can create small new things in your life just by saying, okay, well, I usually work from Starbucks. I'm gonna work from a different Starbucks on the other side of town. Or I'm gonna go for a jog. Well, my neighborhood is crappy. I'm gonna go for a jog in the very wealthy neighborhood in the hills. Exposing yourself to different experiences and different people, that is what's gonna drive your imagination and drive your ambition.
Okay, Band Video sent a super chat. He said, peace saints, Merry Christmas. Hey Marquette, how much is a 30-minute consult to get me started on my personal development? This man is the real deal.
I appreciate that, and I certainly recognize his name. And the options for consultations are, it starts at 40 minutes, and the only reason that it starts at 40 minutes rather than 30 is that often people will get on and they'll want to tell me a little bit about their background and also say thank you, and by the time they're done with that, 10 minutes have elapsed, and then we want to dig into their, whatever they're working on. So 40 minutes is the lowest time we'll spend, and it goes by extremely quickly. And you can get a 40-minute consultation by becoming an Emperor level member at patreon.com/thesaintandthesinner, or becoming an Emperor level member at www.thesasn.com and just join as an emperor. And if you want more time, a lot of people do an hour or an hour and a half. You can just click consultation at www.thesasn.com. So those are the options. The lowest cost one is to become an emperor, and that'll get you your 40 minutes every month. If you just want one, create the membership this month, cancel it when you're done.
But you want one to cancel.
Right. The emperors almost never cancel. We even have emperors who don't even use the consultation. They just keep it so that they can use it when they want to. I can't think of any emperors who have canceled. But that is the best option if you want to do something that's shorter time and low cost.
Okay, Mr. Highway sent another super chat. He said, when you say be good to yourself, what do you mean? What is an acceptable way to reward yourself for your accomplishments?
Yes. Mr. Highway, thank you for the continued support. And shout out to all the saints who are sending in multiple super chats. I truly appreciate it. It does touch my heart. And, it just reaffirms my beliefs, which is that you might have 400 people, 5% of them are the ones who are the doers, So he's asking me in our 3-sentence Bible, be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. Well, how can you be good to yourself? Well, being good to yourself is sometimes taking care of yourself. Like you might have seen when we were in Brazil, you saw your boy with his feet kicked up getting a pedicure, you heard me? Or when we were on our way to Colombia, we took out the time and went to the little spa in the airport lounge and got the massage tool used to loosen up the muscles. Being good to yourself means doing the things that you need to be healthy, happy, relaxed. It's treating yourself. Women are generally really good at pampering. Men, sometimes we let ourselves fall into decay and neglect. So being good to yourself is investing in yourself and protecting yourself, doing what you have to do to make sure that you're at your best. You got to focus on number one, and I tell that to everyone, especially if you want to be able to give, right? If you want to be able to do the third step, which is to be good to good people, you have to be solid. And there are different ways of being good to yourself. Like, for example, I'm a minimalist. All these walls, nothing on them. Because I don't want trinkets. I don't want anything that has no utility. I don't like decorations. No, sir. We live in a very minimalist way. But one gift that Bridget got me, I had to allow it, is this right here. This is and you might have one of these. This is the first version of the black box right here. And this is me being good to myself, which is acknowledging, celebrating myself, which is like, damn, I wrote a whole book. I immortalized my story. That's worth celebrating. And when I'm celebrating my damn self. That's being good to yourself. And here's another thing. And Bridget can tell you, I have gotten so many trophies and I throw them shits away. I've thrown away more trophies than anybody. Shit, I've even had other people throw away my trophies. I'm talking about that. Bridget, I'm talking about. But,
It wasn't me.
Right. But this is my first piece of hardware right here. I had to keep that in my fight shorts. I have to keep that because, it just means so much, but it's also a reminder to me. It's a motivator, like, damn, I want some more of these right here. You feel me? Like, I want some blood stains on these shorts. There's no reason these shorts should be white. I need blood on these. My blood or somebody else's blood, preferably. But they can't continue being white like that. So it's a reminder. And to me, that's being good to myself. I spent money to get these custom shorts made. You heard me? I spent money to put my name across those boxing shorts. That's me being good to myself, investing in myself. But the third piece is be good to good people. We did the conference. It's the cheapest conference ever. No one's ever done a conference for $269. You might ask yourself, $269, that's an odd number. That's the exact number that I calculated in which we could break even without losing money. That's the exact number. Because I didn't build in any profit. Be good to good people means do something for others. That's why we got this conference. These are the lanyards for the name tags. This is a gift from me to everyone else, this conference, because I don't need to go to the conference. I'm the one throwing it. It won't benefit me. There's no profit. We're going to lose money, my money. But that's me making a contribution into other men, because you know what? The society will be better from who these men become and how these men grow. And I know that. So that's me being good to good people. Me paying for the hotels of these young men, 18, 19, that's me being good to good people because I know they're good people. That's why they're coming to the conference. And I want to nourish them and help them along on their road.
Okay, Blue Fire sent a super chat. He said, "Thank you for sharing this knowledge. Sadly, this is information that my own father and the men in my life never shared with me.
Right.
This is my first super chat. God bless."
Thank you, Sam. I truly appreciate it.
We have a lot of firsts today.
Absolutely. And that's the most impactful experience, whether I'm dealing with a woman or anything. I love being the first. And when you're the first to that ass and you take that virginity, that's a beautiful first. But every first can be special. So I appreciate that. And let us be understanding of our parents, our mothers and fathers. They didn't become geniuses just because they know how to put a vagina and a penis together and then they have a kid. That doesn't turn them into a wise person or into a genius. And certainly my father failed to teach me a lot of things. So what I'm teaching you is from lived experience and from being attuned with my nature. And anytime you do have a question or a need and I can be there to help you, I definitely want to try to. So thank you for honoring me with that comment.
Okay, Matthew Shredwick is back again with a super chat. He said, "Thanks for always keeping it 100, Marquett. Peace."
Right, I appreciate that. I appreciate when you guys keep it 100 with me as well. I try to address all of the things that go untalked about. Like, for example, that last video I did, I felt anxious. Like, damn, do I really want to tell people not to use prostitutes? But I said, let's be real here. A lot of cats are using prostitutes. We got to talk about it. So I had to address that because it's something that degrades the soul. And it's something I know no other YouTubers taking out their time to say, don't use prostitutes, because that's not going to go viral. That's not going to get a lot of views because people are going to look at that like, oh, either I do use them and I don't want to admit it, or I don't want to tune in because it's not entertainment. And I'm not here to entertain you. So I appreciate you acknowledging the realness of these scriptures I'm sharing with you.
Okay, we have Micus Mays sent a super chat. He said, "After binge watching your videos, I've seen you as a possible mentor. I'm getting my PhD so that I can bring technologies to market."
Wow. Congrats.
Okay, Jalik Udu is back again for the third time today. He put his name again, so it's VZNFRMTMRW, Vision from Tomorrow. So it's without the vowels. And he said, "Thanks again."
Thank you. Absolutely. I appreciate that. And it means so much to me because I won't be here forever. And I never assume anyone is going to be here tomorrow, including myself. And so when you can honor someone when they're around, it means so much. When you can love on someone hard and truly appreciate who they are, that's big. And you can even ask Bridget all the time. I tell her, like, understand me, appreciate me. There are none like me. That's not an arrogant thing. You at home, you should know there are none like you. And if you are striving every moment to show the greatest part of who you are, really striving, and you are delivering on a regular basis, make sure everyone around you appreciates and shows that appreciation. Because when you are removed, they will miss you so much. But if they appreciate you right now, when you're gone, they just got accepted. You dig? So I'm saying don't miss out on loving on the people around you. Don't miss out on appreciating the people who are worthy of that. Because my OG Kevin Cox, my biggest regret when he was deceased, I was like, damn, I wish I would have spent more time. Because he was a remarkable man, a knowledgeable man, crafty, clever, cunning. And there's so much knowledge I did not get from him. And that was due to my own folly. I did not appreciate him while he was around. And there are not many men who are that remarkable. So I appreciate you all, giving me my due while I'm accessible.
And I believe we are caught up.
We're caught up with the super chats?
We are.
Cool.
I'm filtered by super chat, so that's all I see right now.
Okay. I'll give you all, per usual, if we somehow missed your super chat, you can type the word super chat in all caps and then repeat that question. And we know that the saints are honorable people, so we have no fear that anyone will be less than honorable. So I'll give you a moment to post that super chat if we missed it. And once that time has elapsed, we will end the way we always end, with the Creed of Assassin.
We have a new one that just came in. It's from Izzy Man. He said, "Sup Marquette, Merry Christmas to you and Bridget. Please tell me what I can gain from a consultation. I'm 20 years old with no purpose."
That sounds bad, doesn't it, Bridget?
It
My
does.
God said with no purpose. Wow. Let me tell you this, Izzy. It's not that you don't have purpose, it's that you have not discovered your purpose. Often that happens when you lack experience. You really need to go bump your head and go get your hands dirty to figure out what you like, what you're good at, what you're interested in, what you're passionate about. I do have a video called How to Find Your Purpose, so check that out if you haven't watched it. If you're on www.thesasn.com, you can literally just type it into a search to pull up the video. But for you, what I would say in a consultation, most folks come to me and they say, hey Marquett, I want to talk about my relationship with fill in the blank. My mother or my parents or this girl I'm interested in or my girlfriend or my wife. And so we talk about more personal things and we work through a challenge. Or they say, hey, here are my habits right now. Here's my goal. This is the kind of man I want to be. How do I do that? Or they say, hey, I need to refresh how people see me. I want to improve my image. How do I change that? Or they say, I have a business idea. Or I don't have a business idea. What do you think I can do? Teach me the processes of business success. So basically, you bring something to me, and I help you make it into something better. If you bring nothing, then it will be more conversation than a consultation. I will tell you to save your money until you have a stronger desire. Because I'm not here to make money. I'm here to help you be something greater.
Okay, Sincere said, your words are inspiring. I can feel your spirit when you speak. When and where is your next consultation? So if you want to remind people how to book a consultation.
Certainly, if you go to www.thesasn, and from there you can book a consultation for whatever time and date is convenient for you.
Okay, we're all caught up.
Then let us end this the way we always end this, with the creed of assassin. I want you to say this, repeat this after me with full conviction, knowing that this is true of you. The creed of assassin. I'm going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable. And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am.